Take your clap. What's up, everybody? You heard it there. It's talking
Hither!
the Renegade Shopping Cart Program. Another episode with me and Jason.
Hello.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing fucking phenomenal, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
I'm so sorry. We spent some time together today.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be honest here. I just came out of the bathroom with pee, and I needed to record instantly.
Okay.
You know, so I started the cameras, and then we jumped straight into this, and that's only because I am a little parched. So, and I know it's etiquette to crack on the pod.
Are you ready?
Oh, cheers, my friend.
Wonderful sound. Thank you, Waterloo. As always.
Just in
sponsoring
case
the
you guys
podcast.
need to know, we're sipping on lemon lime.
0 calories,
You know-
0 sugar, 0 calories, 0 sugar.
You know
Just
what
in
I think we
case
should start doing?
What's up?
A couple days before the pod comes out, we should release what flavor we're sipping on, so other people can act accordingly.
Join in?
Join in when they listen.
A little sippy with us?
Send us your pictures if you're drinking Waterloo.
Send
while
us
you're
your
listening
pictures
to
and
the pod.
tag us.
Yeah.
Tag
Send
Waterloo,
us your
tag us.
pictures. Tag everyone.
Make sure to go to Waterloo's Instagram account, and for every picture, make a comment saying, I'm only here because of Renegade Shopping Cart.
Yeah, and tag us in it.
Yeah.
The more people that do that, the more that Waterloo, I don't know if you knew this, but Waterloo actually sends Waterloo to those in need.
Yeah, 100%.
Worldwide. And so, I mean, I hate to be so crass by saying this, but the more you tell Waterloo that you're listening because of us, that means the more Waterloo we're selling, and less people die worldwide.
You don't want people to die, do
If you don't want people to die, drink Waterloo. Tag Waterloo with us.
Yeah.
And
We just wasted like 5 minutes just talking about
that's
Waterloo.
okay. And just while we're here,
Waterloo, I hope you're happy.
yeah, while we're here, go ahead, like, share, subscribe.
Ring the little bell to get notified anytime we release a video.
Swipe up. Follow us on the Instagram. Just follow us on Instagram. We have the others, but
Not really.
yeah, we have the Instagram.
We'll
So
get those going.
go to the Instagram, Renegade Shopping Cart, and then email us, renegadeshoppingcartpod@gmail.com if you want to be a guest, if you have any questions.
If you want us to talk about certain topics.
Yeah, or if you want us to watch your parents have sex. I mean, really, we're here for you.
I was going to say if you want to insult us, but I guess that would kind of be the same thing, right?
So on watching other people have sex,
Yeah.
can I share a story with you?
Is it about porn?
It's not.
Is it about your parents?
It's about real life,
Is it about your parents?
not my parents.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Oh, no.
I don't know the last time my parents had sex. So,
Go ahead.
so I know I talk about this quite often, and it is a problem. I'm gonna admit it to you and in front of the people. But
Okay.
I was at a cigar lounge
Here we
the
go.
other day. Okay. Now I told you about the guy we met. He asked me not to speak
Talk about him.
about him.
Are you going to talk about him?
I'm gonna talk about him,
He's
but
gonna find you,
in a
bro.
different context. And I think I called him Jerry. That's not his real name, but we're gonna refer to him as Jerry.
Okay. Your friend Jerry at the Cigar Lounge.
At the cigar lounge. So,
in Vegas.
so Crystal got the new car.
She did?
Yeah.
Nice.
And so me, Crystal, and our friend Roger, we went out to the cigar lounge just to celebrate. You know, nothing incredible.
But it's a happy moment. Worth celebrating.
It's a happy moment worth celebrating for sure. And what's worse about the whole scenario is I like the cigars, but Roger is a cigarette guy. And he doesn't smoke like, you know, at home, but just, you know, if we're going to go out, he'd rather smoke cigarettes than cigars.
Okay.
So what ends up happening is we like share a pack of cigarettes.
Okay.
You know, because a lounge sells cigarettes. And so we're smoking these Dunhills because that's what Jerry smoked, and we were so intrigued by Jerry when we first met him. Okay, and so we're at the same place where we met him, and it was just us three for a brief moment of time, and it was very good. We're close with him, and it was just congratulations. It was just celebratory.
It was good happenings.
Yeah. This guy Peter comes up to us.
I look like I have a boner.
You do look like it, but it's not that big, so don't worry. This guy Peter comes up to us, short Asian guy, Korean, and I'm only saying this because he kept referencing how he was Korean, and it was just it was a weird thing. And bro, this guy at first seemed cool. Okay, and I'm gonna get to the sex in a minute. At first, Peter seemed cool, but the whole night he was trying to recruit me and Crystal for his solar company. He sells solar. And he's like, I made $383,000 so far this year. And if you start now, you'll make $50,000 this year just from us. And if you don't make 6 figures by your first full year, I should fire myself as a boss. And I was like, damn, Peter, that's a good pitch. We exchange information. He's like, I'll get you in touch with he's the owner.
You're going to start selling solar?
Well, just hear me out. So he was like, I'll get you in touch with the San Diego manager. You guys could talk and go from there. I'm not offering you the job, but I'm offering you the opportunity. And then so I was like, yeah, well, I exchanged information with him. This fucking guy wouldn't shut the fuck up about solar all night.
Okay.
And he was clearly trying to recruit me. And then he kind of started trying to recruit Crystal towards the end. And then he completely shunned our friend. Bless, bro, bless. He completely shunned Roger out of the conversation. And I was just like,
Roger?
Yeah.
Wait,
and I was like, this is
Jerry?
weird. No, my friend Roger, who we were with.
Oh.
And I was just like, I'm over this guy trying to recruit us. Like, if you're a real owner of a company, like, we should have left it at when we exchanged information and went back to talking about how you used to smoke weed and go to concerts. Right? Like,
okay.
Like, we should have just
one of those conversations.
Yeah, but for hours, this dude wouldn't stop, like, talking about, like, oh, well, your future and blah, blah, blah. And it's just red flags.
Okay.
Right?
So he was trying to scam you.
So I texted him the next morning. I was like, hey, this isn't for me, but thanks for the opportunity. Lovely meeting you. And he was like, best of luck in the future. Great. Because he thought I was going to meet him there a couple days later. And I was like, I'm not doing anything with you, bud. And, but I noticed, out of my eye, the strange man sitting in a booth. We're sitting at the bar. See a guy sitting in the booth. Now, where we were sitting at the bar was where we met Jerry. He has a seat because he frequents there.
Okay.
He has a seat at the end. There's a cutout on the table. And he's like, I like this seat. The rest is like a normal bar. The bartenders know him by name. He's a frequent. People like him.
Yeah, he's a regular.
So I tell Roger, who's sitting in his seat, I go, Roger, that's, who that is. That's, Jerry. And he's like, no, it's not. He wasn't wearing a hat, so he kind of looked a little different. I'm like, bro, I promise you that's him. And so Roger goes up and is like, blah, 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 and like says, hey, what's up? The fucking guy doesn't remember us. We talked to him for like 3 hours. And he's like, I'm so sorry, he ended up coming over. And he's like, I'm so sorry, I don't remember you guys. I've had a really stressful couple weeks. He was sloshed.
Oh, gone.
He just showed up and he was gone.
He was MC Hammer.
Yeah. And so he was iced baby. That's what I'm saying.
That wasn't as good as mine.
I know. Anyway, he comes up. We're talking. We're kind of just trying to track his memory about what we talked about last time, and it was cool because we are fascinated by this guy.
Okay.
Right, and so we're so happy to have him again. And he goes up to Roger. And Peter's talking my ear off, so I have to notice all this.
Peter's the Korean guy?
Korean guy.
Okay.
He's talking my dick off. Crystal's like so unenthused.
I'm a little lost. It seems like separate times.
It's gonna happen. It's all gonna happen right now.
So wait, there was an initial time that the solar dude was there, that you met Jerry? When did you first meet Jerry? Was it when you first met
Couple weeks ago.
Oh, so you've known Jerry at this point?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I met him, and then the next day we recorded, I forget if it was episode 10 or episode 11, but we recorded it, and I think I just briefly mentioned, I met this guy, military CIA, I'm not supposed to talk about him. I'm going to call him Jerry.
Alright, continue.
So, and we have always talked about, like, damn, it would be so cool to go see him again there and, like, talk to him. He was a great guy, right? And so Peter's talking my dick off the whole night.
Yeah.
I noticed Jerry talking to Roger right next to Peter. And, you know, he was very drunk, as I'm saying. Jerry was.
Yeah.
And so he goes up to Roger and he's like, oh, your muscles, blah, blah, blah. And he starts touching all over Roger. And Roger's like a very, like, touchy person, but, like, even he was like,
Jerry's
what the fuck?
a little loosey-goosey.
And I guess, so I just heard, so like, oh, your wife, blah, blah, blah. Like, she needs to appreciate you because Roger's married. But the whole time Peter's talking my fucking ear off, and so I can't really be active in that conversation, but I was focused over there where they're talking. And I asked Roger when we leave, and I'm like, hey, but what was all that about? And he was saying how Roger's wife needs to appreciate him. And Jerry wants Roger's wife to appreciate him, and, you know, he wants to watch them have sex. But so Roger's wife isn't intimidated, Jerry wants to show his wife how tiny his dick is, so she's not intimidated by him or the idea of like a guy watching them have sex, and like all this shit, dude, it went on, and we were just like, what the fuck? And Roger's like, I don't think I want to go back again.
Roger's like, no.
But you have to understand, we're so fucking impressed by this guy the last time we met him.
And then he just comes out like
oh
that.
My god, it was so bad.
That's rough, bro.
It was so weird. So
That's
yeah, I just had
rough.
to get that off my chest while we're talking about watching people have sex and stuff.
Oh, rest in peace, Jerry.
I know.
Fuck me.
I know.
Or fuck him, I guess.
I don't even know who to fuck. He just wants to watch.
I guess. You think he's a cuck?
I think that's what that
A
means.
cuckold?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when a cuckold is when you make your partner watch you.
Oh, so he definitely
have sex. So
he definitely doesn't
that
have a
person's
partner.
The cuckold.
That's his issue.
Then he's just creepy.
Let me tell you what he does for a living, though. Okay.
You're gonna just spill it?
I'm gonna spill it.
Uh-oh.
I'm not saying his real name or anything.
Uh-oh.
So he manages. So news stations hire him to manage production. So he hires makeup teams, the camera crews, the set place. Like he does all that, all the behind the scenes work.
Okay.
For news stations.
Okay.
And we were kind of just like, hey, like what news stations? And he was just like, all of them. And we're like, what do you mean all of major ones? And he's like, all of them. Fox, CNN, MSNBC. Like he started listing them. And he was like, I have all of those, like anyone who's been a guest on those stations, I have their phone numbers. Like I set that up.
Oh, that's what you're not supposed to know.
Well, he's he's ex-military and
okay.
stuff. So he kind of wouldn't share a lot of that. And he doesn't want his information out there. That's why he asked me not to. Once I said, oh, I have a podcast, blah, blah, blah. He was like, don't mention my name. I was like, got it. But I mean, like, crazy guy, you know? And then that fucking happened. He's like, I want to watch you guys have...
You're like, I kind of want to...
And I'll be honest, he was hitting on Crystal all night, like, in a weird way. He's old, though, so it's like, it's not really...
So it's not like you were, like, upset. You were just kind of laughing.
Yeah, but I'm upset he didn't fucking ask us. We're actually... He's never seen Roger's wife, but me and Crystal are sitting right there, and he's not asking us. I'm kind of offended.
Jesus Christ, you're a sick fuck. You know that, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
You should have walked up to Jerry and been like, why don't you want to watch us have sex?
We're right here. We'll go in the bathroom.
Just follow us. Come on. You fucking weirdo.
I'm crazy.
That's weird. That's kind of like a losing faith in humanity moment, huh?
Not really.
No?
I was so happy to hear
You're
it.
just getting excited?
I was honestly disappointed I couldn't like actively listen the whole time. Because I had Peter talking my shit off. But I wish I just heard the whole thing live. But yeah, I mean, I guess so. It's kind of it's sad to, you know,
witness these people you think are so cool turn into total creeps.
Yeah, I'm still gonna give them another chance. That's all I'm saying.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
I had a very hardcore losing faith in humanity.
Is that right?
Like day.
What?
Full day.
A full day of it.
A full day of it.
That's existential.
I took a trip to the land of mouse.
That's right.
If that makes sense.
The
happiest place on earth.
Oh my.
I mean, basically, you're trying.
We have none of them.
I went to Disneyland the other day. Fairly close. So yeah, I took a trip to Disneyland the other day, and let me just say, I hate the general public.
You hate it.
I hate them.
Wow.
I hate them. I just can't. There's just so many people that are so unintelligent, or just complete dicks.
Mm-hmm.
You're either unintelligent or you just don't have any regard for anyone but your fucking self.
In what sense? What are we talking about here?
So, obviously, Disneyland is reopened during COVID, so they have very strict regulations of masks, of social distancing, of all those things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was fully aware of that. I knew I was going to wear a mask for fucking 12 hours.
12 hours at Disneyland.
I park opened at 9, park closed at 9. We were there the whole time.
That's a lot of Disney.
It's a lot of Disney.
A lot of land.
2 parks.
Okay, 2 of them.
Fucking tons of rides.
Okay.
So there's plenty to do.
Okay.
But, obviously, you can't wait in the lines like you normally would, because normally lines are fucking packed together, everyone's on top of each other, and a lot of them are inside. They're not allowed to operate their lines inside. So basically, all of the line queues have to be outside, and then once you hit the inside part, you're basically just supposed to walk straight onto the ride. That's the only way they can operate right now.
Okay.
I don't know if that's technically the only way, but that's what they're
So
doing.
is the park itself at full capacity though?
No.
Okay.
So that's another thing that kind of got me irritated was for the since it opened, it was at 25%, and I went 2 days ago, and 2 days ago was the day they upped the capacity. So they went from 25% to 45%.
Damn.
The day I went. Now, I don't know if you've ever been to Disneyland.
No.
So,
Well, once. I don't remember it though.
well, they're very thematic in everything they do. Everything is very immersive. A lot of their walking paths are not that big when you consider the volume of people they have going there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like on a normal, like non-COVID visit, it feels very crowded because there's hundreds of thousands of people at this park at one time.
Mm.
You know, and
Is that right? Hundreds of thousands?
I don't know the actual figures, but
That's what it feels
that's
like.
what I would guess.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and these people are like flooding all these walkways, making it extremely tight, making it extremely strenuous to try to walk around, right?
Mm.
Now, when on top of that fact, you put all of the lines outside in those walkways, it got a little annoying.
I see. So all the lines are where the walkways are, essentially.
Not, I can't say most of them.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of them.
Yeah, enough to be annoying.
Enough to be annoying, for sure. So there was a couple things that really, really pissed me off and made me lose my faith. So the first thing is, regarding those lines I've been talking about, they set up markers generously, like giving people plenty of room between them.
Mm-hmm.
Not just the mandatory 6 feet or whatever,
Right, yeah.
you know. They gave you room. So I would understand, like, not following those markers 100%.
Right.
Because they gave you, like, fucking 10 feet sometimes or whatever, right?
Mm.
So, but these fucking people, there were people there that were literally on top of other people as if nothing was going on. And it was hilarious because on multiple occasions, Angela and I would be in line, we'd walk up to the next marker, and someone would walk up directly behind us. And we'd look around, like very passive-aggressively, like hinting that they should pay attention. And we'd look down at the marker, and we'd stand there until the next party moved up from that marker. Because that's what you're fucking supposed to do. We're in a fucking global pandemic, people. What the fuck is wrong with you? There's a fucking marker that says, please stop here. How hard is it for humans to follow basic instructions?
And I think pretty hard, I'll be honest.
Like, that's where I'm at. It's either the general public is so unintelligent or so fucking rude.
Yeah.
No regard for anyone but yourself.
What about masks? Was everyone wearing them?
Part 2
Here
of
we
my
go.
losing faith in humanity.
Here we go.
At Disneyland. There is a sign basically every 5 feet that says masks are mandatory. You have to keep them on unless you are in a designated dining area.
What about smoking? Do they have smoking
No,
areas?
smoke free now.
Okay.
Disneyland got rid of all smoking within their park grounds. You have to go outside the park to smoke.
I feel that.
There's no one smoking.
Right.
Because they would fucking catch that shit in a hot minute. But the amount of times I heard a park employee say, please keep your mask on unless you enter a designated dining area, was enough to make me want to throw up.
Yeah, you're just pissed about hearing it at that point.
Because I'm walking around, I'm wearing a mask all fucking day. Because that is my duty to protect everyone around me so we can all enjoy this thing that we paid so much money for, that we want to enjoy.
How much?
I was respecting, I'm not going to tell you how much.
How much is the ticket nowadays?
It was expensive.
Really?
That's like a...
I don't even know how much a ticket ever was.
I think it's close to $180.
Per ticket?
Yeah.
My guy, there we go.
We balled up.
Yeah.
But it's amazing because there's plenty of people doing the fucking, mask right here, leaving
Under
their
the
nose.
nose, yeah.
Whatever. But the amount of people that literally walked around with it just on their chin, not even anything, I was just like, what the fuck?
It's a weird thing.
I don't get it.
I think we're in a pickle because California announced a date, right?
Yeah.
June 15th. We're done, right? So now everyone's like, well, that's only in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever date it is now. It's like 3.5 weeks or something. 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6, I don't know. But it's weeks away. Now there's a date. People are anticipating what that's gonna do.
Yeah.
So all the people who weren't maskers in the first place, now they're just full
now
of
they have an excuse.
well, bro, we're 2 weeks away. What's gonna change in 2 weeks?
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
I see people in the grocery stores here now. No mask. No one's saying anything.
They tell you not to.
I know.
Because, who's willing to have that fight for literally nothing?
Right.
You tell someone to put on their mask, they say no, and what are you going to do?
Yeah. I'm going to let you finish, but are you at all nervous to end the mask?
No.
Once that date comes, bro, there's no masks. People are hugging again.
Fuck them. Let the idiots die.
But I'm saying, are you going to be hugging people? Are you going to be no mask? Are you going to feel nervous at all about anything?
There was no change from the amount of people I hugged and the distance I kept between me and everybody pre-COVID to COVID.
I feel that.
I can't stand people, so I put distance between me and them all the time.
Yeah.
So I don't, in my opinion, I'm going to wear my mask because I don't want to get someone sick. I don't want someone to get me sick.
You're still going to mask up after the date?
Yeah, until I'm vaccinated.
Oh, until you're vaccinated?
Yeah, I mean, because, I got loved ones that are at risk. I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that waiting so long to get my vaccine. I totally get that.
How long are you going to wait for the vaccine?
Probably not that long.
It's coming up.
I know. But, the thing is, I understand my choices, and I'm going to deal with the responsibilities and the consequences of my choices.
Yes.
I decided not to get the vaccine right away and wait, understanding I would need to wear my mask
a little longer.
More than everyone else.
See,
and that is something I accept.
Yeah.
For the sake of myself, for the sake of people around me.
Yeah.
Because I am a decent fucking human being.
Unlike those Disneyland
These fucking people. It baffles my mind. It amazes me.
Describe them.
How little.
What do they look like? What do they sound like? What were they doing? What are their mannerisms?
You know what's sad?
Let's go into it.
Fucking rednecks.
At Disneyland?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Fat fucking Oakley sunglass wearing fucking buzz cut pinstripe fucking beard wearing fat white fuckers. I fucking hate them. They're all fucking cocksuckers.
Really?
Oh my god.
The
Ridiculous.
that thin, like, clean-shaven beard?
Oh my god.
Oh.
They look like they're the singer of Smash Mouth.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you. Dude.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. Go back to 2002.
Yeah, Guy Fieri.
Jesus Christ.
Fucking idiot.
He looks good in it.
What kind of clothes, though? What are we talking?
Fucking plaid, ugly fucking shorts with a fucking Hurley shirt.
Hurley.
Fucking
Hurley
wearing
Oakley.
DC shoes. You're like, who
Where'd
the
you get
fuck
that?
are you?
Where'd you get DC shoes?
I was like, what are you, Rob Dyrdek? Jesus
Jesus.
fucking Christ.
I feel you.
Those fucking, oh my god. The people that you know have a fucking bald eagle tattoo and an American flag flying on the back of their fucking truck. Sorry, not to hate. I hate everyone equally. I'm just gonna
That's
say
pretty
that now.
fair, though. That's pretty fair if you hate everyone equally. That's true equality.
I can't stand anybody.
I get it. I mean, I don't. I am a people liker.
I'm a people hater.
I love people.
That's why we work well together.
I know. I love how dumb people are.
Oh my god.
Like, I genuinely respect people for being so stupid sometimes.
I can't.
There's some times where I'm just like, I think you're actually a genius.
No.
Like, you're so dumb, but I think you're a genius for being so dumb.
So, in my opinion, people fall under two categories.
Let's hear them.
Dumb,
Uh-huh.
asshole.
Okay.
You're
That's all you are?
You're one of the two.
What am I?
You're an asshole.
Great.
Because you're intelligent,
Uh-huh.
but you're a dick.
Okay, I'll take it.
I'd consider myself both.
Yeah, you're a dumb,
I'm a dumb asshole.
asshole. That's pretty good. That's a good category.
It
I
works.
mean, what do you think there's any nice person?
My mom.
What would she be though? Is it just nice, or is there a different category that you have to create? Because I
No.
feel like we can name some nice people.
No. I mean,
Well, I mean, okay, so if you only have the two categories, what does she fall in?
alright, why you gotta tear my fucking joke apart?
I'm just saying.
Why?
No, I want to know.
Why? For the fa-
Is
for
your
the-
mom dumb
for
or
the
is she an
simple-
asshole?
No, I said she's the exception.
There's no exception. If
Ain't
there's
nothing
a rule.
coming between me and my mama, bro.
Right, I'm
just
just saying from your perspective.
Like, you want to start talking shit about my mom, I'll throw hands.
No, I'm just
You
saying.
sit the fuck down.
Is she dumb?
You don't talk ill upon
Is
my
she
mama.
dumb or an asshole?
She's the fucking greatest.
So the greatest.
She's the
So you're
greatest.
either dumb, an asshole, or the
my mom.
greatest. Only
No,
your mom. Though.
only my mom.
What about everyone else's mom who feels the same?
I don't give a fuck. They're not my mom.
That's a fair point.
Is
See?
it not? Is it a false statement?
That
It's a
they're
true
not
statement.
your mom?
There you go.
I mean,
Have I said anything untrue so far?
I can't speak upon. No, I guess not. I guess not.
I gotcha.
That's what I'm saying. That's so good. You should write a book. Dumb asshole or my mom? What are you?
That's fantastic.
Just
I'm
ask
totally
old
fucking-
ladies, are you my mom?
No? Okay, so are you dumb or an
You're dumb,
asshole?
Which one? The show I was
That's
watching, Your Honor, with the dude from I was telling you about it. The Bryan Cranston's in it.
Yeah.
He did this fantastic thing. He sees a homeless person, and he asks them, and he's like, drugs or booze? And the homeless guy's like, what? He's like, drugs or booze? And he's just like, neither. He's like, that's a shame. I only donate money to people who use it for drugs or booze. And he walks away. I was like, that's fucking, he's a lawyer, he's a judge in the show. I was like, that's amazing. I want to start using that. And you should use dumb or asshole.
I will. I kind of want to get into a philosophical conversation, if you don't mind.
Philosophy was one of my majors. Let's get this
I
on.
know, such a wasted profession.
How dare you? How dare you?
I'm an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
See?
And I'm
That's going to be our new way of rating.
I want to
anything
be
we
an
talk
exception to the rule, though.
about. Yeah, well, you're not special.
I don't want to be your mom exception.
You're not
I just
my
want
mom.
to be. An exception.
You're the Jason exception.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, you're both dumb and an asshole, but you're exceedingly much of both.
I'll take it. I think I'm gonna take that, and I'm gonna wear that as a badge of honor.
You should.
Thanks.
We're going to make that a t-shirt.
The Jason exception.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think I like that.
Anyway, so I got into a fucking YouTube deep dive, bro.
Is that right?
Yeah. Bad.
What about?
2 different things. We're going to talk about one first, and then we're going to return to one later, because it's going to tie into my disdain for humanity.
Bro, this is like a lesson. I'm excited.
I got you, man.
Okay.
So, I got into a video. I got into a couple. And they were all like the top 10, 15, 20, whatever countdowns, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the first one I watched was about the fuck, I already forgot the name. The
Basketball.
something trench.
The Marianas Trench.
I don't know if that's the actual one.
The deepest one in the planet?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, the Marianas Trench. I think.
Dude, I don't know if that's the right name. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Oh, don't forget, Jason. Zoom in on that push. Minsky pushed with the face.
Minsky pushed with the face.
Yeah, it's called the Marianas Trench for sure. Final answer.
Mariana Trench, yeah.
There we
You got
go.
it right. Look at you.
It's like marinara.
I don't know. I don't think that. Oh, yeah, I think it is. Yes. So, it is the deepest point on our Earth,
Right.
on the surface of our Earth.
Mm-hmm.
It is. If you were to flip Mount Everest upside down at sea level and multiply it by 2.5, that's how deep this trench goes.
Hell yeah.
Like thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of fucking feet. Like miles and miles. And that shit fucking freaks me out.
This
Because
scares you.
we have only, I don't know the exact depth, but we have only discovered things at like, I want to say like 15,000 feet. At a depth of 15,000 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And we believe this thing to be somewhere around 40,000 feet deep.
There we go.
And we can't even see that far down.
Yeah.
There was a Russian scientist. There was a Russian marine biologist.
It's always Russians, by the way.
Yes, 100%.
Always.
There was a Russian marine biologist that took a submarine down there, all the way to the bottom.
I don't think you can.
You can't. It was in 1960. He took a no, was it Russian? It was either Russia or America, one of the two. It was a Cold War bullshit thing. Took it all the way down to the bottom, hit the floor, stayed there for, I want to say, 5 minutes. Took him 6 hours to plunge all the way down.
Hell yeah.
Sat on the seafloor for 5 minutes. They couldn't see a fucking sausage because there was so much silt built up at the bottom. Because the bottom of this trench there are active volcanoes.
Uh-huh.
They say there's more active volcanoes at the bottom of this trench than there ever has been on the surface of our planet.
Hell yeah.
So there's
And
all the...
let's just say there's bacteria that thrive in those conditions called thermophiles.
So we're going to get into it, bro.
I believe, yeah, thermophiles. Yep.
So they went down there for 5 minutes, and all this soot and ash is flying through the water, and they can't see anything. So they're literally just sitting there blind. They have no clue what's fucking around them. It's pitch black down here because the sunlight isn't capable of reaching that low. Like it's not reflecting off of anything at that point, so it's pitch black. And they saw like one fucking fish that went in front of their lights. That was the only thing they fucking saw.
Didn't it kill them?
One fish.
Didn't the light kill the fish? I think I heard about people, they go so deep that the light kills the fish.
I don't know. It might have. They didn't say it. But anyway, they start, like, I got into the fucking video and it's talking about all the unknown things that are down there. Like, the things we do know are so weird and fucked up because it has something to do with there is 7 miles of pressure put on you if you're down that far down because of all of the water that is impacting you at that depth, that it literally messes with molecules, like DNA and shit. Like, it's that hardcore pressure. So
I remember they found a fish real low, and it had eye sockets, but it had no eyes. So, like, it has evolved to just not waste its energy on having eyes.
Yeah.
But
Like,
it comes from a lineage that had eyes.
Yeah. But
Crazy.
they're fucking... So, that's what they were saying is, like, because, obviously, life adapts to whatever climate it's in, these fucking creatures down there have adapted in such weird ways because not only are they adapting to be able to survive, but they're also adapting to their DNA being altered by this pressure that's so far down. Like, the very few we have actually seen are ridiculous, like crazy, like scary. Like, people are just speculating what fucking monstrosities we might find down there one time when we're able to actually go down there.
Aliens.
Dude, it got me thinking. Because we know absolutely nothing about that part of the ocean.
Right.
Like, the ocean is... So, what were they saying? The ocean is like 5% explored at this point.
Yeah, that's a false statistic, though.
You don't know that, though.
Yeah, you do. There's a lot of cargo ships, a lot of military ships that travel the waters. I mean, like, it's definitely not we haven't hit all of it, but it's definitely a false statistic.
I don't know, man, because, like, if you think about it, like, we can only map out what we can see. We've never gone in there.
That's not true. You have sonar technology, you have radar, you have all the other sensors.
But if there's a place that is, like, altering DNA, you don't think there's a slight chance that it might fuck with some frequencies to the point where we don't actually know what's down there? Because if you think about it, we have only explored down to, what, 10, 15,000 feet? And this thing goes down all the way down to 40,000 feet.
We definitely don't know what's down there.
Keep in mind, this is the biggest trench in the world. This is the biggest fault line in the world.
Yeah. Down
in this trench. This thing is like 50 miles wide and goes on for thousands of miles.
Yeah.
And it's all that low.
Yeah, so
like, if you think about that, like, the amount of space that we have explored compared to, like, literally just that, which is, like, what? Probably 20 times the depth for miles and miles and miles of area. Like, guaranteed there's more space we haven't discovered than we have in the ocean.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. But also, like, what kind, like, you have to think, like, what could thrive down there? And
that's the thing,
it's just going to be, like, gross fish. Like, it's not going to be things...
You don't know that, though. These things that are having their DNA altered down there.
You're having your DNA altered every day, though.
Exactly. So what do you... like, the same thought, but... Yes, I agree.
Because, like, radiation, everything's altering our DNA.
I agree. But it is at such an extremity down there.
But what if it's so extreme that life can hardly thrive?
That's a possibility.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is we know nothing.
We do know nothing.
It's crazy.
It's just going to be like weird anglerfish. Like, Google it. You could find, like, fish, they catch it, like, kind of like that toy that you use when you go into a bar or something, or, you know, you have the claw and you try to grab the pokeball or whatever the fuck it is. They do that with fish, and then you can see pictures. They're just gross, crusty fish. And then one of them has no eyes. One of them, I think they have a light.
I don't know which of these are actually real.
But I think all of those are real.
No way.
Yeah.
This one is definitely a fucking drawing. That one's definitely a drawing. Ow.
Whoa. This one's cool. That's drawing, though. Yeah.
I mean...
Some of them are real, though.
They're all concepts of real things.
This is... I think this is the one. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Mariana's Trench.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just all
that
weird,
one,
crusty shit.
Like, literally, its DNA is altered to the point where it's completely see-through. It's translucent.
Yeah, what's
it's
living inside
a fucking
of
translucent fish. That's its fucking organs.
That looks like a parasite.
That is bioluminescence.
Yeah. Why waste energy on pigmentation?
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is real. That's a real fucking fish.
China's Howdo one says deep dive record. See, I don't think anyone's ever been completely to the bottom. I think because there's plateaus, right? It's so big that
You
you're
think
gonna
they
have,
just hit a plateau?
you have plateaus.
That's a real fish.
I don't
That's
think,
a fucking octopus.
Yeah, I know. I don't think we have the technology to
withstand that kind of pressure to be down there. Yeah.
But didn't James Cameron go to the deepest? He led the team to go to the deepest part of the ocean one time.
At one point, yeah, exactly. That's the problem, is everyone's hitting these different parts, and it just keeps setting records.
Yeah, and I'm still trying to find the deepest parts of my girlfriend. So I mean, like, this is crazy. Can I get a team to help me?
She's gonna kill you for saying that.
No, she'll laugh. She's a good sport.
You hope. But, like, you see in these fucking things, this isn't even, like, these things aren't even at the lowest point. Right. What do you think's at the fucking lowest point?
Just more of this. I mean, I don't know. It's gross fish.
I think it has to be a much crazier extremity of this stuff.
Right? Like, you think, how big? It can't, well, that's the thing. It can't be that big, because you have to think, how much energy does it take to feed a thing, right? So all these fish, everything thrives off energy, right? That's why we need food and nutrients and water and sunlight and vitamins. So, like, these things aren't getting anything. Like, how, if you're blind, right, unless they have adapted to some crazy night vision for the ones that do have eyes, but, like, you're not eating much.
But that's the thing. All of these things have to adapt for them to be able to exist.
Right.
So, like, the fact that we are able to see them, they are living beings, that means they have adapted
right, they're thriving
to be
on
able
something.
to... Yeah.
I still think it's much.
But, if you think about it, if you think about it like this, like, there's a cluster of animals that live at the surface.
Uh-huh.
And they adapt to their current surroundings and their climate, and they find a way to survive off of what they have.
Right.
You go down further, you see this cluster of animals. They've adapted. They found a way to survive in their climate off of whatever they fucking have. There has to be, like, there's, in my mind, it's almost like space. Like, there has to be something down there.
Right.
There's no fucking way there's not.
Right.
Like, at a point where maybe there are a handful of big fucking things down there that are, like, the only things down there. So whatever fucking bacteria or algae or fucking plant or whatever it is down there,
like the Loch Ness monster,
they're able, like, I'm not saying fucking Loch Ness monster, but maybe there's a fucking monster.
Maybe.
You never know. Maybe the fucking Kraken's down there. You know?
I don't know what that is.
The Kraken? Bro.
What's cracking? What's cracking lacking, baby?
You are so uncultured, it's disgusting.
But I don't know. These things look cool. I would not eat those.
No, I wouldn't go near these things. Dude, that
thing has spinal bifida for sure.
They are experimenting with technology to be able to transport tourists down to the Marianas Trench.
Really?
Tickets are being pre-sold for $250,000.
Good for them. I'm not going.
No, I wouldn't go near these things.
Nope.
I don't care if I got fucking 10...
Look at that thing!
Yeah.
That thing's butt is its mouth.
Right? Like, I don't know about you, but I'm looking at this stuff like, there's no way.
Trench Mariana fish is what you Googled, by the way. Let's refine this Google search. Can you Google real deep sea fish or some shit? I want to see, like, real pictures. I want to see, like, the Discovery. How about Real Big Fish? You ever like that band?
No.
Oh my god.
I don't feel like any of these are real.
No,
That's
you gotta get out of images.
That's a drawing.
You gotta go to all and, like, hit up the actual press release.
Why?
See, that's cool.
A viper.
Fishes of deep sea viper fish, depth 400
Natural
meters.
History Museum.
Oh, we have one of those here.
That's fucking weird.
That thing just looks like a... I'm not gonna say it. 1 kilometer, that's not that far.
That thing looks like my penis.
Viperfish is not that appetizing. Stopped light loose jaw. Bro, that was my name in high school.
But, like, what the fuck are these things?
That's not even that far though. Go all the way down. Because you're gonna have your farthest one.
That's it.
Oh.
These things are
2.2
fucking
kilometers.
alien.
I guess, but they're fish.
That's what, like, bro.
It's weird. Yeah.
Like, maybe I'm just a fucking
No, I get it.
theorist. Like, fucking the
Yeah.
idea, because it's like the same conversation as aliens, right? Like, there's no way there's nothing out there other than us. It's
Right.
not, like, in my mind, it's impossible.
Right. I guess what I'm thinking is like that just looks like a fish. You know what I'm saying? Like if we just like found a new land mass on our planet, and we're like, oh, I bet it has people, and then we see people, it's like we're not gonna be that shocked because it's just like, oh, well, yeah, people.
Yeah, but what if, like, there was a mountaintop that was, like, Kilimanjaro times 4, and we found, like, people living up there?
That'd be cool. I mean, the Tibetans do that shit.
But, like, at such an extremity, it would
Right.
be so different. Like,
Yeah.
they would physically look different
Right.
because of the change.
I see what you're saying.
You know? Like,
Yeah, I think it'd be cool.
I'm
But
just excited.
I want to see something we've never seen before. Like I get, like we've never seen that fish before, but that just looks like a fish. Like I want to see it. I want to see a new design. I want to see
like a new species.
Yeah, like we have starfish. I want to see like a octagon, something, right? Like
Here we go with your fucking fight.
UFC.
Again.
I know. I just want to see something that we've never seen before, like a triangle.
We might. There's a guy
with perfect angles.
There's a guy. His name is
Roger.
Jerry.
Jerry.
Jerry Connor.
Okay.
Jerry Connor is an Ohio real estate mogul, entrepreneur, owns his own real estate company.
You're losing me here.
How
does he fit in?
He's
gonna make houses on the bottom of the Marianas Trench.
This
and sell them?
year, he is planning 3 expeditions to the very bottom of the trench. They were supposed to be done in April. I think they got pushed back. He is also planning to fly to space. He is going to become the first person ever to reach the lowest point on our Earth and go to space. First person to do both.
In the same vehicle?
No.
Hey, did you see the thing that the Pentagon just confirmed the video of?
No.
It was off the coast here in San Diego, I think.
Uh-oh.
It was a big ship. They were tracking it forever, and it just dives into the ocean.
Like a ship, like sea-based ship?
No, it was flying.
Oh.
And
So
it dives into the ocean.
type thing.
Yeah, but it was circular, I think. And they were tracking it. Was going like incredible speeds.
Maybe it went to the bottom of the Marianas Trench.
Maybe that thing is so fucking smart and it's just controlling the universe with its mind.
Maybe it's an actual alien that can get up and walk and pilot a ship.
Maybe. It kind of just looks like how I expect my penis to look when I'm 80.
This thing was thought to have died 85 million years ago.
Oh, and they found it?
I don't know how they would think that. Doesn't that ever baffle you?
Why would you think it's dead?
Yeah. Or like when people like dig up dirt and they're like, holy crap, this is remnants from 30 million years ago. You're like, that's dirt, bro. Like, it's probably not. Like, I feel like...
You could date it.
How?
Carbon dating, they have...
But what does carbon dating do?
You're dating the molecule. So what you have, okay, this is my wheelhouse, anthropology here. So what you have is you have a molecule, and you know how long it takes for that molecule to self-destruct, let's just say, okay? So you know the, let's just say the shelf life. You know when it expires, right? So what you do is you can know its half-life. If you know if it expires, you could divide that in half, and you could use that to measure things. So when you see all this, like these dead molecules, you'd be like, okay, well, it had to have been that and that and that, and then you start losing my understanding of it. But it's the molecules.
You already lost my understanding. The fuck?
Yeah.
You
So,
take half the
it's
shelf
just
life,
math.
and that'll tell you how long it like.
Pretty much, yeah. It's just you take everything's
like-
half-life and the radiation, the retroactive sperm remnants or something. And something.
Here's my question: how do you prove that?
That is, well, it's easy. Because you know.
How?
If you know how long it takes for a carbon molecule to die, okay? And you know that by just math. You just times by the number. If you see its decay, that's the word I was looking for, the decay. If you see that, right? Let's say you have 10 fingers, right? Let's say for every 10 years you lose one finger. So when I see you and I see that you only have 7 fingers, you lost 3, I know this homie's 30 years old. Okay? Roughly, he's between 30 and 40, right? They can kind of, it's the same thing.
But I guess I'm just confused because it doesn't really make sense to me because...
It doesn't make sense to me. But then you have to think about the people we are.
We're just stupid.
I mean, we're so unbelievably stupid.
Well, like, I understand that they are going to know more than us. I just wish there was a way. Like, someone please explain it to me how fucking carbon dating works. Because it doesn't fucking make sense to me.
Let's get a chemist or a physicist on here.
Maybe we'll visit some institute and talk to them about it, and we'll film a video for it.
Well, my friend, I don't think he runs the lab, but he operates out of a lab at UC Irvine or Riverside, one of the two.
Okay.
And they're doing shit with cancer. He's trying to eradicate cancer, and he could explain all that shit.
You think?
About how how long it takes for these molecules to the isotopes and polymers.
Ask him if we can come on.
Yeah. Maybe I'll hit him up.
And we could just be stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Because like it doesn't.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
It doesn't make sense to me. How are you gonna say a fucking like? How do you know? Like, oh, I just found this bone. It's from 10 million years ago. You're like, how? How do you know?
Right.
Because I scraped a piece of the enamel off and put it in the computer, and the computer told me. Well, my computer told me we were gonna die in 2012, but we didn't. So, like, what?
Well, not that you know of. We could have.
Died?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Fucking.
I'm just saying, this could be
Philosophy.
a simulation.
We're in the fucking Matrix.
The only thing you could prove is that you exist. Correct?
No.
The only thing that I could possibly prove in the universe is that I exist by my thoughts. Rene Descartes said, I think, therefore I am. That's what that means.
But I don't feel like that's a valid statement.
I can't prove that you exist.
I can't prove that I exist.
Because this could be a hallucination.
This is my perception.
But if you have a perception, then you exist.
How?
If you don't exist, you can't have a perception.
Says who?
Says anything. Does air have perception? Does this table have a perception?
Here's my thing.
Well, no, just answer it. Does it?
Does
this table have a perception of anything?
No.
Right. So, to have a perception, what do you need? You have to have a being. You have to have something that can operate the perception.
I get that. But in the alternative universe where this is a simulation, how do you prove that anything is real? How do you prove that you are existing?
Well, that's the only thing that you can prove, says Rene Descartes, which he's a dualist, which that means he thinks that there's a difference between your mind and your body, right? So he thinks all of your senses could be factored out. Let's say you're having a court case and you're trying to determine the truth. Your touch could be iffy. Sometimes you feel like something's crawling on you, but nothing's there. Or the phantom limb syndrome is the analogy he used, right? If you get your arm cut off, sometimes you'll still feel like feeling in your hand, but you don't have an arm there, so you don't have a hand. But sometimes you still feel that because your nerves are wired that way. So feeling is a little iffy, okay? Like touch. Senses could be iffy, right? Vision, sometimes you see something, but there's really nothing there, so your vision could be iffy. You can't be 100% certain about it, right? And you could go down all the senses, hearing, taste, smell, blah, blah, blah. The only thing he can be sure of is that his thought is real, right? I think, therefore I am. That's the only thing he can be sure of. But it's interesting because, like, if you go down that road, sure, I exist because I'm thinking. I have a perception. Maybe I'm a brain in a vat, right? Maybe I'm not a real person and I'm not existing in this world, but there's something about me that is perceiving something, okay? So therefore I exist, but I can't prove you exist, right? And then you could go down that same hole and think the same thing. So we're really just walking around with people who don't trust that anyone else exists. That's what I got out of philosophy. Do you understand what I'm saying, though? Like, If you had to be 100% certain that you exist, how can you prove it? Right? It's a reduction game. You just have to start reducing everything that you can't prove. I can't prove my senses because they could be faulty, right? Everyone understands that. Everyone has had faulty senses, right?
Right, but if I were to provide you with the example of I see you,
Okay.
therefore you exist, what would be your response to that?
You could be hallucinating. If you're on a drug, you see things, but they're not there. You can have vision.
So in that exact example, you are
Uh-huh.
speaking in regards to my consciousness. What
Right.
about yours?
What do you mean?
What about yours? I said, I see you,
Uh-huh.
therefore you are real. And you
Right.
said, I could be seeing something.
Right.
But what about
Well,
you?
that's the thing. If you trust the honor system, okay,
So,
and you're saying I think therefore I am, and I'm saying I think therefore I am, then we are. But people lie.
and say they're not?
Well, I'm not saying that no one else exists. I'm just saying you have to account for people who do lie, right? So you can't just take everyone at their word. If you're trying to prove that you exist, say it's the only way you break out of the system.
So, if I were to tell you, you do not exist because I am fake, I am not real.
Well, no, that's not what it means.
Well, how do you know?
Well, because
How can you prove it?
I exist. I know that. That's the only thing I know. Says Descartes. Okay, there's other people that challenge this, but this is like the most famous philosophical saying.
Okay, and if I were to say I do not exist,
So I exist, and if you say that you don't exist, right, you're telling me that you don't exist, but I know that I exist.
yes.
Then I'll just say, cool, bro.
So what happens to you? What are you perceiving then?
Well, I guess I'm just tripping. I could be a. So Rene Descartes ultimately said, I could be a brain in a vat, and I could be hardwired into machines that are pretty much. I mean, this is way before technology, the 1600s, but pretty much Sims, right? We could just be in a game of Sims. We could be someone else's video game here. But I'm thinking, if I'm perceiving things, it has to be filtered through the lens of a perceiver. And the only way that could work is if that perceiver actually exists somewhere, somehow. No matter, it doesn't have to look like me, doesn't have to sound like me, it doesn't have to be who I think is me, but it's a perceiver that has to exist somehow, right? That's the only way that he could prove that he exists. And it's beautiful, right? If you think about it, I mean, back then, it's so crazy. And he talks about evil demons who could be manipulating you he goes through the whole fucking thing. And then you kind of filter in like where technology is nowadays, trying to have autonomous beings who are trying to be able to pass what they call the Turing test, and that would make them actual sentient beings, right? And what sentient means is the ability to suffer, to have the ability to suffer. That's what a sentient being means, just so you know. So like when people talk about like, okay, what is and what isn't a sentient being, and that's the most reduced way that people tend to talk about consciousness, right? So like your cat is a sentient being because I could torture the fuck out of it, right? I mean, no objections. So are we. But a rock is not, right? So, but a plant, can you torture a plant? Probably not.
Well, yeah, because it's a living organism.
It's a living organism, but you could torture living organisms, but they're not sentient. They're not suffering. Right?
How do you know that, though?
Well, so what they were a little over the time, so we're only on our close-ups, but that's fine. What you could deduce is that do they have a nervous system or not? Right? Because the only way you have feel and sensory emotions is if you have a nervous system, so far that we know, right? So there's certain crustaceans that don't have a nervous system, but they kind of operate as if they would be a sentient being, right? So I think like a starfish has no nervous system. So if you
But it has a way of perceiving
it's
pain.
a living being.
Yeah.
But no, it doesn't have a way of perceiving pain that we know.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But like there have been tests that prove it reacts to things that would cause it pain.
Well, it reacts because its ability is to survive.
Yeah.
But we can't say that it is feeling pain. It's just feeling a need to react to something.
Yes. So as much as we can't say it feels pain, we also can't say it does not feel any pain.
Correct. But the only way that pain works, that science knows of, is a nervous system. You need nerves. You need to have sensors that if I touch your knee, it has to tell your brain that something touched the knee, and then your brain tells the knee to react, tells that region to feel it, all in the single moment I touch it. It has to do that. That's what a nervous system is, right? So if you don't have that, you have no known, that we know of course, you have no known sensor for...
I love the amount of times in these conversations that people say, known that we know of.
Right, but I mean, it's because that's the easiest way to come back at someone. Right, that's the easiest way to say, well, we don't know, so how can you say that? Which is like, well, we do know, unless you have new information.
Well, we only know what we can test and prove.
Right, and that is that. Yeah. So, but
the theory of everything, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. So let's finish up the plant thing, though. So plants react. Okay. They did studies that if you play the sound of a bug crawling on a plant, that plant that you're playing the sound to will react as if the bug is crawling on it.
So it has an auditory response system.
Auditory is a little iffy, but vibrational.
Okay.
Okay. So if you kind of think that everything's vibrations, that's what sound is, right? It triggers the vibrations in our ears, and that is how we pick up sound. So it has a vibrational system, but there's something there, right? There's something, because if the bug is crawling on it and the plant reacts accordingly, you'd be like, okay, well, that kind of makes sense. But if you're just playing a sound as if the bug is crawling on the plant and then the plant reacts accordingly, it kind of gets a little iffy. You're kind of like, what's happening here? What else can the plant do? But as far as we know, that plant is not sentient. But you could kill it. It's a living organism. So all of that to say that living organism doesn't mean that it's sentient, right? So like, if you want to know if something is conscious in the terms of like scientific consciousness, it's sentience. Can it suffer? Because to suffer, you need to have the ability to conceptualize what is happening to you, right? And that's like the single most basic part of consciousness. The perceiver.
Being able to perceive what is happening.
Right.
Good point.
Yep. Anyway, back to the dicks.
I mean, it's a good... I completely understand it. I completely understand the thought process of the only way to gauge reality is by perception. You know? And the fact that we only know what, like, we can only tell what other beings of intelligence, and not necessarily intelligence, but beings that have those nervous system type infrastructure, their reactions tell us that like, they are, you know.
There's, I forget what they call themselves, but they think that there's anything can feel. Like rocks and
anything can feel,
table.
Only certain things can perceive what they feel.
Well, there's some people that think everything can perceive, but they're few and far in between.
It's like that kind of sense.
They're kind of like the hippies and you know, everything has feelings, so be good.
Don't burn that table, it has feelings.
Be good to it, man.
Gotcha.
Karma comes back.
Yeah, that's it. That's weird.
But there's a lot of people, like a lot of very smart people that disagree with Descartes, you know, and that's the whole philosophy war goes on and on and on. Yeah. But it gets very interesting when you kind of sit and you're reading this shit and you're kind of like, I mean...
Like understanding it.
Yeah, and not that they're before their time, because it's really of its time, but it's just kind of so interesting that, like, holy shit, there's people that really sat there and thought, do I exist? If so, how can I be sure?
Yeah, because
then they logically thought every fucking possibility that there is.
How much time do you think it took them?
Years.
forever.
His work took him years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's really, really weird.
Like, it's the same thing, like, completely different subject matter, but, like, Galileo Galilei,
Mm-hmm.
like, who was like, I'm gonna throw 2 different sized balls off of a fucking giant tower, and then sat there and thought about what made those balls fall all the way down here.
What was the apple?
No, that's
the famous story.
That's Isaac Newton.
Oh, that's Newton.
Newton's law of gravity.
Yeah, but they all
That was
play.
after.
They all play off of each other.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the fact that those people sat there. It's kind of what amazes me about free thinking people and about very perceptive people is, trying to think about what is actually happening around you.
But it's also important to like mention in all that is like they weren't the only ones doing it. Back then, you had to get your theories approved by the church. So I believe it was Copernicus who had a thought of the universe, right? That the Earth is not the center of the universe, right? The sun is the center of our solar system, and like he was the first person to like put it into the shit, but they tried killing him or something.
Yeah.
And if it's not him, it's someone else that's the same thing. But it's so you had all these theories floating around, all these people actually working on this stuff.
Yeah.
But it's not like Galileo was like the only one in the world at the point that was like, gravity, stars.
It's a thing,
right? Yeah. Everyone was.
Yeah, and it, like the conversation of like how big is space? Like what is that existent? Because you can't even say like the universe, because there's people that like the theory is that there's universes stacked on top of universes.
Multiverse.
Like there is many universes around, just like there's galaxies floating around with millions and millions of stars and planets and blah 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 and all this crazy shit, and like
that stuff is
coming
just kind
into
of
matter, and it's weird because it's
really
all
weird.
Well, because it's all theory,
It's all theory.
It's the same thing as the perception theory. Is like we understand how humans perceive things.
Right.
We don't understand how a starfish would perceive danger.
Yeah.
Or,
now, starfish might have a nervous system. I'm just throwing it out there. Don't hold me to that. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about most of the time. But
we fully accept that anything we say on this podcast could just be
100%
tomfoolery because we're stupid.
Tomfoolery.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shit drives me nuts, bro.
Yep. But so those
ridiculous.
fucking fish at the bottom of the ocean, they could be perceived. They could be doing things a whole different way.
Well, yeah.
Telecommunication.
That's kind of where my mind is getting. I'm trying. Like I've been trying to think more freely. Like I'm not considering myself a completely free thinker, but I'm like trying to understand that we don't understand things.
Yes.
And that we don't know things. And once you get that thought process moving, it's really weird to think about what could be,
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing as like, let's say Terminator. When Terminator was being created, like, I know that's a creative art, but that's still a free thinking type deal where you think of a universe or a reality where robots take over.
Yeah.
Like that is a thing that could happen,
It could happen.
Or like The Matrix, where people just like it's creative thinking, in my opinion, is one of the most impressive things ever. To have an original thought or an original idea is such a unique thing nowadays.
Yeah. Definitely.
It's weird.
It's underappreciated.
100%.
Yeah.
Like when fucking Avatar came out, Blue People Avatar. Like James Cameron just came up.
Maybe they don't want to identify as that, by the way.
Hey, you know what? They can do whatever they want.
Okay.
But I hate them just like I hate everybody else.
Probably.
But like James Cameron literally just came up with that. Just thought of it. Just made it up. But the plausibility of that being a reality.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, there's something I appreciate.
That is the point. You don't know.
Right. But there's something I appreciate about all that. But I also, I can't get into science fiction. For whatever reason, it's a hard thing to get into for me.
Well, science fiction becomes science fact.
Sometimes. Yep.
That's the thing I like.
Yeah, sometimes it does. But like, what has?
Phones.
Phones. So
Star Trek.
who predicted them? Star Trek?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Communication devices, I should
Yeah,
say.
sometimes. Mm-hmm. Well, what else? What other than that?
Really gonna make me juggle my brain to figure
Yeah.
out every little fucking invention.
Yeah.
TV screens.
Are you scared about robots taking over in the future? You think that's gonna happen?
No. I mean, here's the thing. I believe it's a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
100%. Like, you just need one wrong person to have access to the one wrong thing. Especially, like, with AI becoming a reality and with, you know... Like, artificial intelligence is such a fucking rabbit hole of theory and fear and, you know...
That's where all the fun is right now.
Yeah, like, the fact that you can create a consciousness that doesn't have a perception.
Well, consciousness is, use that loosely here.
Everything I say is loose. Let's be real. I'm a loose person.
There we go.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But like something that is able to perceive what is around it and what it is going through, but is not able to think freely about it.
Yeah.
That's basically what AI is. It's what it's intended to do.
Yep, self-learning.
Self-learning, self-correcting, self-enhancing.
Sensory.
Right? Like,
yeah.
That's, in layman's terms, that's...
Did you see iRobot?
No.
You know what it is?
That's the
Will Smith movie, yeah. There's a company now called iRobot. Just saying.
Science fiction.
Mm-hmm.
Becoming.
Also, what else? What else? Have you seen Ex Machina? Okay, your face is telling me that you haven't. Bro, you like movies. Watch Ex Machina. It's The Machine. Watch it.
Okay.
It's so fucking good. It's right in this wheelhouse. It's so good. It's one of the few movies I like to recommend to people.
That's fair.
Yeah. I'll make sure you watch it. It's really good. You guys should all watch Ex Machina too. Just saying.
I feel like this podcast got very theoretical very quick.
Hey, that happens.
You know?
Yep. We're living in a theory.
Yeah.
You know? I got a theory.
Which is?
I might be gay. Who knows?
I mean.
You never know.
I mean.
You never know about the future. Okay, well, do you have anything else you want to talk about?
I don't know, man. What about you?
No, I don't know. I'm trying to think what else happened to me. We need a big wrap up.
My infinity is bigger than his infinity. Neil deGrasse Tyson.
That's what he said.
Quote of the day!
Is that it?
That's it. Episode's over.
Okay.
Woo!
Goodbye, everybody.
I finished with it. You motherfuckers can't say I didn't do it.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. Don't forget, whatever
Like, share, subscribe, comment, repost.
And we always end up doing this, so I'm going to do it early. We're restarting that so we can keep ranting. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, whatever you're listening on. If you could give us a rating, if you could give us a thumbs up on the YouTube,
If you can like it.
if you could rate the Apple
Give us
Podcast,
stars.
leave a 5-star review, we love you. If you leave a 5-star review, send it to us. We'll suck your dick, we'll lick your mom, we'll hug you, we'll do whatever. Right? COVID be damned.
Bye, everybody.